Welcome to the open book, where every voice matters. Every story got layers, and every conversation opens something new. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Late night talks with the smooth bass knocking. Whole room tuned when the topics dropping. Authors, culture, real life views. Open book vibes bring a whole new groove. No fake energy when the dialogue starts. Different perspectives play a major part. From page to podcast, the vibes stay deep. Real conversations every single week. Welcome to the open book, where the real conversations flow. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every story got meaning. Every perspective show. Turn the page. Turn the page. Turn the page. Every chapter different. Every voice got purpose. Every voice got purpose. Turn the page.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha. I hope everyone is having a fabulous Friday. I actually overslept this morning. You know how you think you have your alarm set. Well, my alarm wasn't set, y'all. And it was nothing but the good Lord that said, girl, look, okay, I'm going to help you out for sure this morning. He does it every morning, but I really know that it's God that wakes us up. But good morning. Welcome, everyone. Make sure y'all tap that like button. Let everyone know that we are live on this Friday. Also, this live is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is covered under the Fair Use Act. Information shared is alleged in our opinions as we react to various topics and people. All right, so y'all, on this morning's live, we are going to listen to an audio of a young lady that is kind of giving some context. Now, this is alleged, y'all, because we don't know if some of these kids are playing games and so forth, alleging the last time that Nolan was with Wyatt and Katie. Okay, now we hadn't heard this before, so we're going to hear her take on what happened, you know, who the last person she saw with Nolan. Also, the Mississippi DA spoke out on yesterday. And so I wanted to show y'all that snippet and what she had to say. Y'all, it's going to take the good Lord to intervene in this case, like seriously, because these people, in my opinion, have been so used to getting away with this. And this is the first time the light is shining so bright, and a potential corruption and cover-ups are going to be exposed. I just really feel that. And then last but not least, we are going to actually go through the document itself with the autopsy report and look over some of the things that were stated from Roger Mitchell, the independent autopsy medical examiner. I know that the other day I did not have the actual document, so I want to make sure I pull that up for you all and we can walk through it. Okay, let's see who we have here so far. Hey, HGY, welcome, sis. Thank you for joining and thank you for being first in the building. Hey, Mama 80s is in the building. Welcome. Delta Roots, welcome. Thank you for joining this morning. Hey, C Note, good morning. Yes, I did. Well, not the whole thing. I am going to get into that. I was talking about that yesterday. So, you know, we're going to do our series, okay, because we have body cam footage and the interview video to go through. So I did. Hey, Phenomenal Scorpio. Good morning, sis. Hey, Glenn. How are you? Welcome. Thank you for tapping in. Hey, Tamitra. Thank you so much, Grand Rising. Good morning, Sonia. Hey, Shamika. Welcome, ladies. Okay, she said I overslept this morning too. Okay. Oh, so your phone died. See, mine was on, but hey, child, I don't know what happened. Okay. I was like, okay, let me hurry up. Hey, T lady. Good morning, sis. Welcome. Mama Magazine is in the building. Thank you for joining. Welcome, Queens. Hey, Lashandra. Thank you for joining. Michelle is in the building. Karen, thank you, ladies, for tapping in. There's Designs Decor. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, empowerment time with Sharnique. Let's see, good morning. FBI has taken this case, right? Too many hands are in the pot. Well, we were hearing that allegedly the FBI was called there to assist, I guess, and also there were threats. They were looking into the various threats that were being made, but that was the main thing that saw them. So I don't know how much they're going into it, but we're going to see. Hey, Brandy. Hey, Latte. Welcome. Amazing Expectations. Good morning. Good morning, Simone. Good morning, Jacqueline. Let's see. I think I made it to the bottom. Okay. All right. So good morning, everyone that is here. Look, y'all on time, so I can speak to y'all individually. As others come in, it's like if I catch them or not. Okay. It's a huge welcome to everyone. But y'all, yesterday, let me say this. That video I showed with, allegedly that could have been Nolan on the ground, okay, in the sand. Shout out to Tate Lady for the floating heart. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a sponsor to today's live. Now, I was looking on TikTok and some other places that was showing the video. Now, of course, you have some people that are stating that, that's not Nolan. And then it goes back to the question, well, hey, Hanada, if it's not Nolan, who is it? Okay. Because whoever that was looked like they were in distress in some type of situation with young boys, and it looked like a grown man. The more someone blew that background up, it looked like some grown-ups were there in that situation too. Okay, whatever this scenario. My opinion when I first saw it was it looked real for one. Now, a lot of people not saying that it's AI. A lot of people are agreeing that it looked real. Okay. Now, the majority of people do believe that that could very well be Nolan. Now, you think it is? Mama Magazine thinks it is too. Now, as I look at that, one of the men that's standing in the background is very well so, and one of the boys in the khakis shorts, with those close-ups, you can really see who they are. Okay. If the FBI and the police want to start with those two men, they need to start there. Okay. Because you can really distinguish their faces to see what was going on, because you had other people in the video recording. And there was a portion of the video I did not really, I couldn't tell what it was, because remember yesterday I was like, what is this black down here? And people in the comments on TikTok were saying, y'all see the person holding another person's head, like forcing them to watch? I said, wait a second, what? So in the bottom left corner of the video, it looked like one of the boys or whoever that was holding someone by the hair and like move, like they're struggling and they're like forcing them to watch whoever is in the sand. And I don't know, y'all. It is so weird. It's very disturbing. I want to know who took the picture. Well, the picture, Wanda, was a still shot from the actual video. And remember, thank you. Hey, Jamillionaire. Good morning. Thank you so much. And remember, hey, Angel. Remember I told y'all yesterday there was a lady that came under, because I had shared it on my community wall, and she came under the post and she said that she knew someone that their daughter knew a guy in Mississippi. It was a white guy, and said that he had the full video. Well, one of the ladies, the original lady, her name was Katrina, because I could see the name at the bottom of that picture, right? So I went to her page and it was no longer there. Okay. And I was wondering, so after I shared it on my community wall, she came back under there. She said that some official agency reached out to that lady and told her to remove that picture. She didn't go into details about which agency, but they told her to remove that. Now, for the simple fact that they told her to remove that, child, look. Okay, hey, Brittany. Hey, y'all already know it's something to it. And it's probably some key people that don't want to be recognized in that. So I took it off of mine. Okay, they didn't ask me to, but y'all was like, look, I don't need no official agencies over here telling me nothing. Okay. Now, look, we already saw the video. Okay. You can't help that video has already gone viral, but I don't think that those people wanted to be identified. It's a little too late because it's everywhere, child. The picture everywhere. So I think it's very much real. And I think that allegedly some people were like, it was some type of ritual thing that was taking place. I don't know on all that part. But interesting enough, I don't know if this can be verified, but they were saying that some of Nolan's friends could have possibly been there. Okay. And not just whites, but also a couple of blacks could have been there too. So I don't know. Welcome everyone coming on in. What if it was the friend that said he hated to see that was forced to watch? You know what, Mama Magazine? That's a good point. Okay. Remember, someone did that post that was telling about, the pool party part allegedly saying that they were trying to help. Okay. So that's a very good point. I don't know. Okay, shout out to Sharon for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's live. Thank you so much and welcome everyone coming on in. Let's see. We're getting close to closing this case by the grace of God. Thank you, Jesus. Exactly. Because when you start getting interference like that, something's up. Okay, something's up. And let's see, in the corner of that video, it did seem like a black person was sitting in the corner. Yes, did you see that? Yes, I noticed that too. Right, Delta Roots, we're doing a better investigation than Jackson County, Mississippi. Okay, come on now. Put me on the payroll. Now let me stay where I'm at. Y'all can pay me for my virtual services because Charlotte ain't trying to move there. Okay. Hey, Roger. One creator said, yeah, okay. I'm 80s. I wasn't going to say it, but since you put it on out there, okay. I said friends, but yeah, one content creator said allegedly Javon was somewhere in the crowd. Now, speaking of Javon, let's go here. So yesterday we saw Warren's part 3 to this interview. And he brought up some things. I don't know if some of y'all heard this part or have seen it yet, the one with Officer Tatum. Now, he brought up that we still stuck on Warren. What just prompted you to wonder where Nolan was? Now, when I played this audio this morning, I'm kind of seeing if this is going to be another puzzle piece we can connect to that, because you just not out of the blue been hanging with someone all day, and then y'all are chilling somewhere. You're like, oh, where is such and such? No, you know who you went with, and you should know who you came back with. Okay, so miss us with that. You're leaving that part out. What prompted you to really know that Nolan was missing? Okay, now he stated that once he realized that Nolan was missing, he contacted Javon to ask him had he seen Nolan. Okay, now he did not have Miss Christine's phone number, and that's Nolan's mother, alleged that he got her phone number from Javon. I was like, wait, what? Because we already said he will use certain people's names, but certain ones he'll say my buddy. Okay. But he's calling out Javon, and he's called out Katie's name as well. Okay. Now, I'm curious to know if that's true, Javon, because like what's up with that? He then says he allegedly contacted Miss Christine once he got the phone number from Javon. I don't know if Javon just has Christine's numbers, being that, he grew up kind of with Nolan. I don't know. Okay. And then he contacted her. Now, if that's the case, and Javon knew that Nolan was missing, then how come he didn't contact Christine? OB, you're talking about people that can't even. Okay. Girl, yes, Karen B. We heard this yesterday. Okay, Bert. And thank you for tuning in. So why didn't Javon contact Christine first? Because I have never heard her say that. What I have heard her say publicly is Warren did contact her. Also, she said that when she used the Life 360, it pinged. And so then, it was all over land. She showed him on land all over. But then she called Tashima. Okay. Now, I don't know if Javon was keeping that from his mom as well. Okay. That he was missing. Now, we do know that Jalen posted, he had a whole post. Remember? Let me pull that up. And this is his brother. Let's see. Okay. Now, remember, his brother said on July 4th, my brother right here, Nolan Wells, was missing. That same day, I went out looking for him for hours. Okay. Now, remember, we have to go back to this because Javon, if Warren had told, let's say if this is all true, because, hey, baby, everything they saying, I'm questioning. Okay. Let's say that what Warren is saying is true. That means that Warren, I don't know what time though, he did say a time, contacted Javon. Javon knew that people were looking for Nolan because Warren is saying he's not with us. Okay. So then all of a sudden, Warren contacts Christine. Christine looks at Life 360. She sees that the phone is on land all over the place. Okay. Then she contacts Tashima. Now, originally, Christine said the boys were with Tashima. But then later on, it's that they're not, that Tashima has to contact them. Javon was supposedly with a girlfriend. Jalen was somewhere with another friend downtown. But what's confusing is, okay, because she said, have y'all seen Nolan? She said, no, Javon is acting like he can't tell me nothing else. Well, wait a minute. Javon couldn't say, Warren called me. Because, see, we need to hear from Javon's side on this. You couldn't tell at that point, oh, yeah, Warren called me and said they couldn't find him. Or something like that. Like, you didn't have nothing else for her. What? But y'all have been out there all day together. And then your brother had posted that on the 4th, y'all must have known he was missing because y'all went out looking for him for hours. So were y'all looking for him prior to letting Christine know her son was missing? I'm just wondering, okay, because that came out yesterday. Good morning, everyone coming on in. What day and time did Javon mom call him? That was once Christine pinged them later on that night. Like that would have been like after 11 something. Remember when she had to go and get the phone? Okay, so that's why I'm like, hey, I don't know. But that was just odd to me. Okay. Good morning, MJ. She said, I've been side-eyeing Javon from the jump. And I've always said, y'all, I feel that he knows more. Okay. I really feel like he knows more and should be speaking up. King Black in that interview, did Warren slip up and say Nolan was on the boat with Katie? It was part telling Nolan was leaving, he saw Nolan cradling. I said that he saw him cradling Katie. I don't know. Warren is a liar. I believe Wyatt and Nolan got into a fight out there on the boat, and why Nolan get off his boat? Policy, right? Warren part when he should have said, "I called Nolan 50 times, so I think he went on that team." Why any when discussing their brother? Oh wow. Am I going in? Is this better? Thank y'all for letting me know. But sometimes it does this in this area. Okay. Put a 1 if it's better. Is it a little better? Let's see. Oh, that's a good question. Hey, it is what it is. I don't know who's older. Okay, it's a little better. Okay. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for letting me know, because y'all know in the morning sometimes it might get like that. And when y'all let me know, I can kind of move and make sure. All right. Hey, D, good morning. Thank you for tapping in. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. So let's get into this audio. Okay, now the first thing, shout out to Nicole.everything. She's on IG. Okay, so I don't know if y'all have tapped into her channel, but she also works alongside, or I should say collaborates with Secret Service Sam and some of the other content creators. And y'all, they've been staying on top of it. Okay. Now let's see here. I just commented on one of Ben Crump's posts to check your content. Oh, thank you, Clarinetta. Shout out to you. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's see. Hey, the Queen's Den. So he said he called Jay Bond and called Christine right after, meaning that was around 11 p.m. So did you go looking for him before you got the call? It wasn't hours between the calls based on the interview. Exactly. I think they went before. Yes. That's what I'm thinking. I could be wrong. I think they're afraid. Hey, dreamy girl, welcome, sis, and thank you for the floating heart. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think it would have been before. Now, someone sent this in. I'm going in and out again. Oh boy, don't tell me it's going to be that type of day. Let me put in my headphones. Hold on. Oh, is this a little better? Child, we got to get it together. Okay, thank you. See, y'all own it. Thank you, because one day I was gone for a while, choppy. Okay, now this post here, it says, this is one picture from my boat on July the 4th. The young man in the blue trunks is Nolan Wells, was seen by many others. He was kind of hard to miss because he was so nice and kind. He even hugged my wife and helped her get up on the boat ladder. And so they sent in this picture here so that, to show that Nolan was there and on different boats and so forth. And when they said that, he was being nice, we've seen that in his characteristics, right? So, and heard that from other people as well about him. But this is more proof that he was there on these different boats. And that other picture where he was bending down, I'm wondering too, if that was really him that day. So that speaks volumes. It was multiple boats that they were all hanging out on and so forth. But Jay's mom said she was going downtown to meet Jay Bond. Right. I don't know if she knew. Yes. Good morning. Welcome. Watching from England. Okay, shout out to England Art. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining. Yep, I think so too. And he could be afraid. He could be afraid. I don't know. Then, y'all, here's an audio I wanted to play for y'all of someone that's kind of giving an account of the last time they saw Nolan with Wyatt.
So, Wyatt and all them left because they were like, okay, he's just gonna go with Katie, whatever. Well, then everybody got back in and we were all at Ava's house, and Wyatt was like,
now I need someone to tell me, who is Ava? We got too many characters in this story. I mean, I ain't gonna say story because they ain't none fake, but it's a lot of characters. Okay. This is a lot. I can't keep up with all these people. We got boats we got to keep up with. We got people on boats. We got too much we got to keep up with. Who in the world is Ava? Can somebody let me know in the chat? Who is Ava? Because I don't know. We got grandparents. We got to keep up with Jerry and them. It's too many. Okay. Right? For number Scorpio, I'm running out of space, child. This is too much. Okay. This is too much. At this point, I'm looking at everybody as a suspect, from Nolan's family, his black friends, to the pilgrims. Not the pilgrims running amok. Anybody can get it. And I'm with you at this point. This is too much. Okay. New characters being unlocked daily. Right, Kamashir? Oh my God. Dee said exactly where is this coming from? New people every day. Javon been talking too much. His mama know it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now Ava was the movie house. Oh, okay. Come on. So wait. Remember, Tashima had to go and get the phone. She never said whose house, because she said she don't really know these kids like that. Okay. So I'm wondering, is Ava the house where she went to get the phone? The phone was in Wyatt's truck. Come on, to Mama Magazine. We might have another connection right here. Okay, that is possible. That's possible. Hey, T. Smith, welcome, sis.
where's Nolan? He was like, isn't he coming with Katie and them? And they were like, yeah. And Warren was like, let me call him and ask where he is. Or Warren was like, I have his phone. Like, somebody called Katie and asked where he is. And then they called Katie.
They don't even notice.
And that's when they found out that Nolan never went with her either. She said that Nolan never went with her.
You know, because she was obviously seen with Nolan the whole day at the island. Katie sent a message to my buddy the next day and said, you know, this is the last time I saw him. You know, he's really sweet. But she also mentioned that the last time she saw Nolan was when my buddy was yelling at him to get on the boat. And she was right there to see that Nolan decided not to.
So,
What y'all think of that? Because I think that Warren is trying to protect Wyatt. Wyatt's name is coming up a whole lot. Okay? It's coming up a whole lot in this whole thing. Right. Warren said he had to jump onto Wyatt's boat because it wouldn't start. Lots of questions. Right. All I know, she's the girl Warren said he went to her party after Horn Island. Okay. Does anyone think more celebrities should contribute some more money for the reward? Yep, it would help. I mean, because look at what people are starting to do at 125,000. Imagine if it was 500,000. Child, we'll have the suspects all in handcuffs today, probably. Okay. HGY said in the part 3 interview, Warren said that that same day he went to a girlfriend's house and that some of the boys were in the pool. I wonder, what is this girlfriend's name? I wonder if it's Ava. Yeah, that's the coughing video. Who was coughing in the background? Hey, Smurfette. Ava house is where they got in the pool at, and Warren was upstairs talking to her dad. So it wasn't this pool party, was it? Or was this a different It's weird. If they bump that reward up to like 1 million or 500,000 birds will sing, right? Yeah, Warren was only dropping certain names. Okay, Lion, didn't the girl Katie say he left her and went back to get on the boat? Yes, yes. This is where it gets, this whole little part right here, this is where the blurry area is, because everyone is pointing fingers, right, Nurse M, and welcome. Everyone is pointing fingers at the other, and we only have a he said, she said. We have no way of really proving this unless the detectives really bring these people in for questioning and some lie detector tests. Okay. Because even during Warren's interview, we can't get past that part. He's still putting the blame on Katie. Katie is saying, no, Nolan didn't leave with her. No, he left with this person. So where we going to go with this part, y'all? I mean, how can we get around this? We're stuck because it's like his word against hers. And then, I mean, we got the other stuff. We're kind of making some connections with the other things, but we need some lie detector tests at this point. Because this going back and forth, oh no, what happened? We need the truth of what happened. He was with somebody. And for some reason, I'm leaning towards the Wyatt and that group. Now, was Katie with Wyatt at some point? That's what I want to know. I thought they didn't know Katie. Uh-oh. No, they know Katie. See how it comes out? Warren said that's not the same party from June 27th. Okay, got you. He was really sniffing in this video. I thought so too. I noticed that too. Did you hear that Nolan supposedly left with some girl named Lainey? Phenomenal Scorpio, don't add a new character, girl. We still stuck on Ava. I did not hear that. It could be true that the picture we've been seeing of the pool party was an older picture, but it doesn't mean that they didn't have a pool party on July 4th at that same house. Oh, okay. No, I'm serious too. I haven't heard that yet. Didn't Tracy say Katie only talked to Nolan briefly? Yes. That's what I'm saying. It's a he said, she said at this point. J Bun was rejected by Katie, who got something to do with it. Uh-oh. You think so? Allegedly, the party was 4th of July. Okay. It's funny how everyone knows everyone, but no one knows where Nolan was. Come on. Is it Shirelle? Yes. Okay. That's what we're saying, y'all. It's a lot of lies, like covering for others. It's no one wants to be the last to have seen Nolan. Someone left with Nolan. Okay. And even his mom, I don't know if y'all see Nolan's mom's post, but she said everybody's asking all of these different questions, but the main question everyone should be asking is, what happened to my son Nolan? And that I'm with her, because y'all going around all of this different stuff. Okay. But we are now getting to the meat of who did Nolan leave with and what happened to him. All this, no, he was cradling with Katie, and we went back to the house, and yeah, I'm like, where is Nolan? Then I call this one and I call this. No, somebody knows. Okay. We need to say which Katie so we don't get confused. Well, I didn't know it was two Katies. Hey, Ian, a clean autopsy could have cleared everyone's name. Mississippi is hiding his neck. District attorney could clear all of this up if it was innocent. Exactly. My only thought is, why did they delete the photo to begin with? Shady. Why everyone wants to know about the picture. Yep. Yeah, if they go down, Delta Roots, I feel you on that. If they go down, he is too. They're going to really try to pull him into this. Desti said, could it be Javon's girlfriend? Oh, that's a good question. So are you saying is Ava Javon's girlfriend? Because I don't know what his girlfriend's name is. But yeah, that's who is his girlfriend? Because that's what his mom said when she called him. he was with his girlfriend. Huh. Okay. Katie's sister said it was just a hi and bye and just a conversation. But supposedly more than a few people saw them in each other's arms. Oh, okay, Grayson. We get somewhere. Yeah, the phone's going to tell it all. Also, just because someone says they were BFFs since middle school, they could mean from a school perspective. Our parents don't know every kid we know or knew. Yeah, that's true. They were saying, Sugar Mama May, and welcome that Nolan was cradling Katie. That's what Warren was saying in his interview last night. OB, he lied. Warren said he didn't get in the pool. He was at the boat talking with the dad, and 10 minutes later, he said that was him in the pool. Yeah, he did say he was the one with his arm around Nolan. But yeah, that was a conflict too. I got you. Okay. So when his mom said she didn't know such and such, my thoughts are maybe he didn't bring everyone home. Yep, that's true. I can see that because they did say he said that they didn't go to her house. Did Katie say she actually saw Nolan get on the boat? Let's revisit her sister's post. Didn't she say she assumed he got on the boat? I'm gonna have to find that post, Pat. I don't know. Do I have that? Let me see if I have it. Let's see. Give me 1 second, y'all. I was trying to see if I had that. If not, I'm gonna have to I'll find it for another time. So we're gonna get into the autopsy too. Because I remember saving it, but I'm gonna have to come back to it. I'll have to find it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that post again. Because something's not right. Hey, Deborah, welcome. What girl was on the boat with Javon? What girl took the picture that was sent to the mom? We still don't know that, Desty. All she's been saying is the girl. Some girl sent her the picture. Then we don't know which girl said where the keys were. It's a lot of my buddies, girls. Only they can answer certain questions. Without names, some of these dots we can't connect. Okay, so yeah, cradling was an odd word for me because what does that look like on a were they on somebody's boat? I don't know. I heard Katie is a fake person from a tarot card reader. They made up Katie for an alibi. Well, I mean, there's a Katie that has a, Facebook. They're not releasing their autopsy report. They have to seal the results until the grand jury gets it. Oh, I bet she did. Okay, and we're going to look at what she has to say first. Yeah, so y'all, we're still stuck on this part here with who did he leave with. All we do know is his keys were in Wyatt's truck still. Okay, we know that Wyatt's name is coming up a whole lot in all of this. And when Warren is saying my buddy, he is referring a lot of times to Wyatt, but he doesn't want to put Wyatt's name in it, if that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to continue to try to connect some of these dots, but I wanted y'all to hear that audio because once again, they're putting him leaving with someone. And then Katie's name is coming up too. So I don't know if she's as innocent for the simple fact that Warren said that Katie is texting people he knows the next day. How are all of y'all connected? Okay, how is he getting the number to someone? Just like they said, Trayston was, they have mutual friends. So some of these guys have mutual friends. Okay, Katie knows someone that knows them. They know someone that knows Trayston. They know Warren knows Javon's phone number. I never even knew Warren and Javon were close like that. Excuse me. Okay. Hey, Karen Michelle. So it's a lot of connections in this. His car keys were at the home where he had left his car. Yes. Yes. If they didn't leak the autopsy, why does TMZ claims what being read is not what Mississippi autopsy shows? Oh, they said that? They may have sent a copy to TMZ. Uh-oh. Yeah, Bart was a new character too. Okay. We had never heard of Bart before. Now we're hearing of Bart, the grandfather, Jerry. Okay, on the dispatch calls. If y'all didn't hear that, y'all need to go back and listen to that full dispatch call on yesterday of the sinking, because some more details were released on that part too. And they had y'all on a report, that a missing persons report, that they couldn't put what type of food, he last had, excuse me, he last had. But what they did put is alcohol level. They put heavy, alcohol intake level heavy. So someone was telling the police that Nolan had been drinking heavily, and they put that on a report. They were setting the stage to set it up like he had been drinking too much and drowned, because they don't know that. Okay. They had not tested his alcohol level or anything like that, but it was on his missing persons report. That's because those boys had told them. Yeah, right. He said, thank you, clock it. He said those were Nolan's friends. Those were his words. Okay. But Javon, how did Warren get your phone number? Y'all all know each other. Quit playing. Okay. Y'all know each other. All these friends are friends and friends are friends, but none of these friends can vouch for Nolan's whereabouts. Come on now. Hey, honey, 5K, 3 different high schools. They know each other. Yep, they do. They are throwing names out to confuse the situation and cast doubt so they can't blame any one person. Right. I'm confused that he stated he wasn't on the same boat with Nolan in part 1, but part 2, he shows them taking off from his house and Nolan was on the video. Oh, you mean from the grandparents' house? I'm going to have to look, because I thought they had multiple boats out there, that he said that they all left from the same lunch. You see what I'm saying? Okay, they on the case, FBI. They had a college workout that Monday. Exactly, MJ. That's a lie. They were setting it up to make it look like Nolan was out there drinking heavily. Hey, he done drowned. That's what they were trying to set the stage. All right, so this is the DA, child. And she had some stuff to say about the autopsy. Child, I'm going to tell you, my first impression when I saw her, she looks racist to me. Okay, that's just my opinion. I'm not believing anything with his facial expressions and body language. Okay, that's my other opinion. But yeah, let's take a listen to what the DA had to say.
As District Attorney for the 19th Circuit Court District of Mississippi, I want to talk directly to the people of Jackson County. Our community is grieving the tremendous loss of Nolan Wells, who is loved and treasured by everyone. Nolan's family deserves answers, and our community deserves answers. Every death in the county, except those of natural causes and non-criminal car wrecks, are presented to your grand jury. Many people don't know that. We have handled death investigations in this manner my entire career. Nolan's case is being handled the same way, with the same care and the same commitment to the truth that we handle all death investigations.
Girl, stop lying. Okay, stop. Because had this gone another way, okay, we already know that this case would have been in. Okay, if Javon, Jalen, and all of them were out there with just Warren by himself, and Warren ended up missing, and something happened to Warren, child, all of them would be behind bars. Okay, so please stop. Please stop. We've seen how y'all have handled previous cases. Okay, we've seen how this medical examiner moves, not even handling things properly, not even making proper incisions when she's doing an autopsy. So we see how y'all move. Okay, y'all didn't even contact this mom. Y'all didn't even give her the 72-hour report. It took you a week and something to even meet with this mom. Y'all would have met her. If it was the other way, y'all would have been at that whole scene where they found his body and met with the parents. Y'all would have been on the phone with them every day. giving updates, not trying to hold back the truth. Okay, so all of this, you can miss us because I'm not even believing the first part of it. Right, it looks like some type of AI. And then she's reading. You could tell she's reading. Okay, because I was looking at her eyes. She's not even speaking from the heart. Show some empathy, some type of empathy for this family. But it's like y'all are doing this for the public to try to get back at us. Oh, we're going to show them, we're going to just shut stuff down. No, show some empathy for the family. Okay, no, I'm not feeling that. It's giving fake and scripted, just like all these other things that we're seeing, very much so. Okay, scripted.
I understand the public's urgency to know what happened to Nolan, but we are not taking time for time's sake. We are taking the time required to complete the work this investigation demands. Since Nolan was reported missing, local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies have worked around the clock investigating what happened to him. Every piece of evidence must be examined. Every credible lead must be followed to its conclusion. Every witness interview must be analyzed in context of all other evidence.
Well, why is it that Javon and Trayson are on public platforms, TMZ, the news, and so forth, saying y'all hadn't even reached out to them? Okay, we have more questions for them that y'all have. They were actually there too. Why are people that were there saying that police have not reached out to them for questioning? Why is it? Have y'all confiscated phones? Have y'all checked cell phone records? Have y'all brought these kids in to see if they can get some lie detector tests? Because we're catching them in all kind of lies. Have y'all found out who was the last person that Nolan was actually with? Have y'all pulled all of the Ring door camera footage and gone to these locations, these pool parties? Okay, did y'all see any other camera footage right there at the docks? Have y'all gone to Fort Bio? What were they doing there? Because, we have a list of questions. Because we'll know if y'all actually doing an investigation. Yeah, right, trying to look sympathetic and it's not working. Okay, it's not working. They better not be dragging this out, pretending like they're doing something right. See, that's the whole, even when someone walked up to the sheriff, I don't know if y'all saw that video, young lady, I think she was a journalist. She walked up to the sheriff and asked him some questions. What is their go-to? Oh, well, this is an ongoing active investigation, so we cannot release any information. Child, miss us with that. What information? Y'all know y'all don't want to go question y'all friends' kids. Y'all don't want to put y'all friends' kids in jail. So y'all trying to make sure everybody moves on from this, forgets about it. Y'all gonna try to get y'all little documents together. We've seen it in Collin County, y'all. They go backdating dockets and trying to fix transcripts and all of that. So we know y'all are capable of doing things like that, okay? To make the narrative go a certain type of way. We've seen it happen in real time. So we know it's not beneath y'all. Y'all need to look into y'all medical examiner as well and see how she's doing these autopsy reports, okay? Because I don't think she knows what she's doing. Because she definitely don't know what she's doing.
The pressure for answers does not change what the work requires. Our responsibility to Nolan and our community is to complete this investigation thoroughly, carefully, without compromise, supported by the evidence and worthy of the confidence of the people we serve. I also understand that many people have questions about why more information has not been released publicly. In Mississippi, the rules of professional conduct restrict the information.
Girl, y'all didn't even release it to the family. We don't want to hear about no publicly. Okay, yes, we want to know because we're doing some investigating ourselves. However, what about the family? See, all this is for us, y'all. It's not because they care. It's for the public, okay, to shut us down, to get us to be quiet. But what about his family? When they came out after that meeting with you all, they didn't know what's going on. They didn't have too much information. You're talking to them about a process. They don't care about the process. They want to know what happened to their son. Do you have any suspects? Have you followed up on any leads? That's what they want to know. So misses with all the little fluff, okay? They want to know answers. What happened to Nolan? Y'all know how to get to the bottom of stuff, okay? I'm pretty sure y'all have a lot of education, a lot of degrees, all of that. So have you given that info to his family is what's key, okay? So don't try to think hiding something from us. No, you need to get with the family. That's who deserves the answers. That's their son, their child. It wasn't the FBI that asked to search the boat. It was the Cajun Navy. Oh, yes. They didn't want the dogs to do it, of course. So why is that? Have they gotten to the bottom of that? They didn't expect this case to get this much attention. Exactly. Some of these people involved in this, including the crime unit, might be related. Yes. They put their people in positions like your cousin over here operating probably a police officer. Then you got your best friend over here as an attorney. They are going to cover for each other. They all know each other. Their kids go to school with each other. Okay, so we already know the play. So it's a bunch of fluff. It really is.
Prosecutor can release during an investigation. Our restraint in communicating facts and evidence is not an effort to keep the truth from the public. It is an effort to protect the integrity of this investigation and the grand jury proceeding. As your district attorney, I have an ethical obligation to avoid public statements that could influence witnesses, prejudice a proceeding, or compromise the fairness of.
So tell me this, why is Warren on an interview, him, Javon, Trayston, no one has shut them down and told them, look, y'all better not do these interviews because it's not a good idea. This is an active case. We need to get y'all statements and so forth. So have you told that to the judge that her son may not want to come onto YouTube channels and do interviews publicly? Wasn't he a witness to all of this? Wasn't Javon a witness? Jalen, all of them, Trayston. It's so many. Avas, we got Katie's. Okay, where are all of these people? And then y'all haven't questioned them. So yeah, I'm wondering, are they being told that as well?
The legal process. My obligation extends to and requires me to use reasonable care to ensure investigating agencies avoid making those statements and releasing information as well. These rules exist to protect the search for the truth, not to prevent it. As divided as the discussion surrounding Nolan's death has become, I know we all want the same thing, to understand what happened to Nolan. With that being our shared goal, we must also share in the goal of protecting the integrity of how the truth is discovered. If we sacrifice the integrity of the process in effort to satisfy today's questions, we risk undermining the confidence in tomorrow's answers. When the public asks, what about this, or have they looked at that, or did they think about this? The answer is yes. Those are the same questions investigators ask. The difference is that we can't publicly discuss the evidence, the interviews, or what those efforts have uncovered while the investigation is underway. Again, our restraint in sharing details of the investigation is not a refusal to share the truth. It is our commitment to protect the process that allows the truth to be known with confidence.
Y'all, it's getting funnier the longer it goes because she looks like she's about to break down and cry, child, giving this false information, in my opinion. Now, my thing also, I feel that they know the autopsy that they had, it was nowhere close to what the independent autopsy results showed. So they already knew we done messed up. We can't put this out. Okay, now they got to take some time, okay, to go back and, oh, shoots. Now they kind of know about the neck. Okay, how we gonna fix this? Okay, oh, boy. So he couldn't get, that the water part in the lungs. So what did you put? They got to go back and look. Why didn't you do the incision in the back of his head, girl? They got to go back and fix what they had. Okay, so that takes time. We rather put, it's sealed and fix it. Y'all know they did Carmelo Anthony's case like that. The judge automatically, he did an oral seal. He wanted it off the record. He had the records in his chambers, child, so nobody could get to it because they had to go back in and fix some stuff. Okay, allegedly. So they're playing that same little play here. They don't want it to get out because they know they got to fix it. That medical examiner had many questions and they have to give some answers now. Okay, because they went first. So y'all stuff is wrong. So now they protected. Would have been much read the results and provide an explanation. The director, Judge Ashley Cole, was like, cut, retakes. Okay, right. They possibly could have a Mama magazine. I don't put it past them. I really don't.
There's a lot of information out there, and there is a heck of a lot of misinformation out there. I simply want the community I serve to know that this investigation is being handled with the care, professionalism, and commitment to the truth that every family in Jackson County deserves. As we continue this important work, Nolan's family, his friends, and all who loved him remain in our prayers.
Oh boy, child. I just cannot. I see through fakeness and unfortunate. And that's why, and I saw someone saying in the chat as well, all jokes aside, must pray that God, it's in the natural realm, a tough fight. Because in that, if you're like strongholds, right? Where this over time, things can build up in our minds. Over time, this thing has been built. It's like a whole territory, that has been built by these people, this system in that area that has been built, and they're used to and accustomed to things going their way. And if not, they're used to probably potential cover-ups and not looking into things and, protecting their own. So imagine Christine and her family and their team, they're going up against this giant, okay? But we do know with God, giants do fall, right? Okay, so that's where our hope lies in this, because it is going to take God in his favor to move in this situation as never before. Okay. And I believe that it is possible. It's just a different type of fight. Okay. Because we already see what we're working with and how they're moving. Okay. The misinformation is coming from them. Her voice, it was shaky because she's lying. Okay. She knows she's lying. Bearded Cajun Navy guy was talking and he disappeared. Now the other guys everywhere. Oh, the bearded one. Now, you know what, Ian? I noticed that. That's true. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Okay. So let's take a look. I'm gonna pull up the autopsy. Okay, let me make sure y'all can see it. All right, so notice here it has the name of the firm. It's from Roger Mitchell. He was a board certified forensic pathologist, RAM Consultant LLC. Okay. We see here cause of death, undetermined pending, manner of death, undetermined pending investigation. And I'm glad that they put the pending investigation, that this is not the final, okay? Because they have not finished their investigation. That is key, because some autopsy reports may have undetermined there as the final, okay? And we know that medical examiner, child, she used to putting that down. Okay, she's not gonna put no homicide. She don't like homicide, so she picks the any, meeny, miny, mo. Okay, so she gonna one day probably go accidental, and rarely goes accidental, child. She usually will put undetermined. She does any, meeny, miny, mo there in Mississippi, child. That's crazy. What happened? Yeah, we don't see him, and that could be the one that the family trusts. Okay, this other guy, they got him on Nancy Grace. That's his friend. Okay, and they got him speaking out. Where and who is Katie's cousin, and is he related to the other? I don't know. I have no idea, child. We trying to find out who was Ava. I didn't know it was two Katies. This forensic pathologist was perform a second autopsy examination on Nolan Xavier Wells. So then it has his name, 18 years, black male, date of death. That because they got his body, that information is more so known from the first autopsy. Okay, they should have more of the date of death, because by the time they got his body to do autopsy, in Washington, there have been more decomposition and all of that. Okay, so I don't know. Hey, Brache, welcome everyone coming on in. Now here it has number one, focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head. I don't know how to pronounce these words. Look, I'm like Ben Crump on that, child. I'm not a medical professional, so don't even give me with these words. Okay, but we're gonna look at ChatGPT to see what are some definitions of what this means. Okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna go down. Some of this we had already looked at on the first picture of that first day. This is where I really want to go to. All right. So preliminary discussion. So this forensic pathologist identifies several limitations during the second autopsy that create barriers to establishing a definitive cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells. Now, here it says the second autopsy performed on Nolan Wells revealed marked decompositional changes. Marked decomposition can obscure the presence or absence of bruising on the skin surface, especially during a second autopsy examination. So this part here, y'all, this makes me really think that they did not preserve his body properly. Okay. I feel that if they had preserved his body in a better way, they probably did not even have him in the proper freezer area and all of that. I think intentionally, because they knew this family wanted another independent autopsy. They knew that the more his body decomposes, the less the second person would be able to find out. The second medical examiner would be able to find out. Okay. So just because the second medical examiner was not able to find bruising and so forth, that does not mean that there wasn't any, which is why the first medical examiner should have sent pictures along with his body too. Where are the pictures? When y'all first, at least they could have seen it, okay, what his body looked like. So that's number one. Okay, why didn't y'all send pictures? And did y'all properly store and preserve his body, knowing that he was definitely supposed to go for a second autopsy? Okay. For those that say they wouldn't let the state do an autopsy, they aren't to be trusted. Yeah, it's state laws in Mississippi to perform one. Yep, they do have to still do it because that's where he was found deceased. Nolan's body was not refrigerated. 6 days had passed, and the longer they waited, natural decomposition will proceed faster. It is so horrible. Exactly. That's what I was thinking. I think they were doing this intentionally because they knew that the family wanted an independent autopsy. Okay, so I don't even think they need to go and look at the conditions and do an inspection there. They need to send outside people there to that coroner's office to do inspections and so forth. Since they had such these big, long backlogs, even back in 2021, we don't know what kind of disorganization. We don't know if they're preserving bodies properly. They need to do a thorough investigation into that coroner and medical examiner's office as well. Are they preserving bodies the proper way? Okay. So let's continue. For these reasons, additional dissection procedures. Now check this out, because baby, he sure told it. He sure told it. For these reasons, additional dissection procedures not performed during the first autopsy examination were performed to rule out potential blunt force injuries responsible for the death. Uh-oh. So you're not even doing your job the right way. So Miss DA, since we want to come on and do interviews and little PSAs, y'all need to go down to your medical examiner's office because they're not properly doing autopsy reports according to Mr. Mitchell. Okay, she didn't even do a dissection procedure that she was supposed to do. This is horrible. Okay, yeah, they didn't want the spotlight on them. This is horrible. And he called it out. See, she didn't want to see if there was any potential blunt force trauma. This is a part of the cover-up. If I don't do it, I can't say it was. You see what I'm saying? Y'all peeping the play? These procedures included facial dissection, posterior head and neck dissection, dissection of the ribs, pelvic dissection, and subcutaneous and soft tissue arms and legs. There were no fractures or deep tissue injuries identified, which is good. Okay. I'm going to read the paragraph, then I'm going to go to what ChatGPT stated about it. Okay. Now it says, however, a dissection of the back of the head during the layered posterior neck dissection revealed a 12 by 8 inch focal area of soft tissues overlying the, is it occipital? Than nor fractures of the underlying skull. These findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury due to both the extensive decomposition and the absence of associated injuries. This finding, however, is significant enough to be highlighted in this preliminary report for further investigation. Okay, come on now. He's not saying that that's the final. Okay, if they have further investigation, he wants to come back to that, revisit it. It is important to reiterate that this finding could not have been observed in the first autopsy because the posterior head and neck dissections were not performed. He called it out again. He wanted them to know she's not over there doing her job. She didn't do the first autopsy properly. Okay, this is the second one, Sheila. Yes. The first one, she didn't do properly. All right, so what does this mean? So this section of the autopsy is saying that the pathologist found it unusual, but not determined what caused it, okay? During the second autopsy, the examiner performed a posterior back, neck, and head dissection, which was not done during the first autopsy. They found a large area, 12 by 8 inches, of red discoloration in the deep soft tissues over the, you know what, I got to find out what this word is because, baby, every time I see it, let me see how to pronounce it. I don't want to not know. Occipital. Okay. Occipital. If y'all didn't know like me, it's occipital. Okay, child, we're going to find out today. Occipital. That's the word for today. Occipital bone. The bone that's at the back of the skull. This discoloration was beneath the skin, not on the surface. Now, what could this red discoloration mean? A red discoloration in deep tissue can have several possible explanations. It could be hemorrhage, okay, bleeding into the tissue from blunt force trauma. It could be some blunt force trauma back there. That's what they're saying. Post-mortem decomposition changes, okay, which can alter tissue color. It could also be from livor mortis, okay, the settling of blood after death in certain circumstances, or other natural or post-mortem processes, okay? But this particular medical examiner stated he cannot really determine the cause right now of this discoloration. What did the first autopsy say? However, does she even have that? Because remember, y'all, she didn't even do that dissection. You see what I'm saying? Are y'all peeping the play? She didn't even have the cut there, the dissection. Now his body is, really decomposed at this point. So will she have an answer for that? That's what I want to know. Didn't do it properly, then doesn't hand over all the young man's remains, right, for the second autopsy. Malfeasance and corrupt intent. I believe that. So I don't even know if they would have it at this point. He did it, but he cannot really determine that. You see what I'm saying? How that can cause doubt? Because they're going to have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. That could cause some type of doubt. Now, why couldn't they say it was an injury? So the report gives two reasons: extensive decomposition. So decomposition makes it much harder to distinguish true bruising from decomposition-related discoloration. Also, blood breaks down, tissue soften, and normal injury patterns can disappear. Y'all see, this was intentional what these people did. Okay, it's so sad and unfortunate. No associated injuries. Now, they found no laceration or cut of the scalp and no skull fracture. So normally, if someone suffered a significant blow to the back of the head, pathologists often expect to see one or more of the following: scalp bruising, scalp lacerations, skull fractures, bleeding under the skull, or brain injuries. So none of those accompanying findings were identified. Okay. So therefore, they conclude that these findings are inconclusive for perimortem injury. Okay, so this perimortem also means at or around the time of death. And inconclusive means they cannot say it was caused by trauma, but they also cannot rule trauma out, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Oh, what did I just do? Okay. Let me see what y'all seeing. We're going to go to the second paragraph. And it's not too long, y'all, the autopsy paragraphs. Thank God, because, some of these, y'all, they can get extensive. Now, the first one should be if she did her job the right way. Let's see. I bet she would say they can't find the missing remains. Oh, y'all, I'm going to be so mad. Yeah, I believe they did it on purpose, because now it would be hard. They probably have buried him now. Okay. Whatever they didn't find in the second, we got to hope that they have it in the first. Okay. Now, with them knowing what was in the second, I don't know if they're going to try something and say, oh, we didn't get it either. You know what I'm saying? Y'all see how that can play out? Y'all see how that can play out? I'm just like, wow. Go to the second. Okay, so the second paragraph, it states another limitation faced by this forensic pathologist was the absence of the anterior internal neck structures, the tracheal and laryngeal cartilages, thyroid horn, not receive body that were not received with his body. Okay, those parts. It is assumed that the initial pathologist retained these structures for additional evaluation. So he's saying, look, we didn't receive it, but I'm assuming because you ain't contacted me that you kept it for additional evaluation. The retention of the anterior neck structures during an initial autopsy is a common forensic pathology practice. Nevertheless, A posterior neck dissection performed without review of the anterior neck structures is incomplete. Uh-oh. So now she not only removed some things and then send it, but because you didn't do the back part, well, your findings are now incomplete, ma'am. It's incomplete. So we got to hope that you're going to use some type of integrity and use what he found out and put it with what you have, because you didn't do one part. Therefore, this pathologist cannot rule out injury to the neck as a contributor or cause of death. This is so sad. Okay, now the second pathologist is saying that these parts of the neck were not available for examination. The hyoid bone is a small U-shaped bone in the upper neck. Thyroid horns are parts of the thyroid cartilage, which is your Adam's apple. Okay, the laryngeal cartilages, okay, the framework of the voice box. Or the trachea is the windpipe. These structures are among the most important areas examined when looking for evidence, check this out, y'all, of strangulation, hanging, compression of the neck, and blunt force trauma to the neck. Y'all see? Are y'all people to play? That's how they determine those things. The very pieces or organs she kept is how they examine for if he was strangled, if he was hung, if they were on his neck, okay? If there was blunt force trauma to his neck. Without that, he couldn't even rule that out because he didn't have the pieces. He didn't have those organs. I don't want to say pieces, but you know, the organs. Medical examiner needs to be fired. Yes, she makes them look very bad and unprofessional. I wonder what can we do now to get the truth, because they will not get away with this. This is a clear cover-up. Yes. Yes, she should be brought up on charges. She really should. Hey, the highest point, welcome. Yes, very sickening, missing organs, and they are definitely, they don't want the truth to come out. Right. They slow walk the next day of finding the body. There's no foul play. Yep, they had already put down what they were going to say. They didn't think this family was going to get an independent autopsy. Thank you, Colin. Okay, shout out to Colin Kaepernick for putting some money up to get this done. Because see, this reinforces our thoughts about the possible cover-up. Okay, I bet there could be a lawsuit filed against the medical examiner. Yeah, she's been withholding evidence for years. Y'all heard about the man Damien, how it was a homicide, but on the report she put undetermined. See, officers were involved in that homicide, so she was helping to cover for those officers. Okay, so now who all is involved with this death that you're trying to help cover? You didn't check certain things, you kept certain parts. We're not crazy, okay? We are definitely not crazy, and we peep the play. I forgot to do this one. Hold on, y'all. All right, let's continue. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now, why were these organs missing? Well, it's saying that it's assumed that the initial pathologist retained these structures for additional evaluation. So this means the first medical examiner likely removed and kept these tissues as part of the original autopsy. That is not unusual in forensic pathology. They may be retained for microscopic examination, documentation, additional testing, or as evidence. See, they're going to pick one. Oh, we just kept it for evidence. We're trying to get it tested. The second pathologist performed a posterior back neck dissection, but could not examine the front anterior Without those structures, they could not fully evaluate fractures of the hyoid bone, fractures of the larynx, bleeding in the front of the neck, or injuries to his airway. So those findings can sometimes provide evidence of neck compression or other trauma. Okay. So I'm telling you, y'all, this, oh my gosh. In forensic medicine, when they say cannot rule out, simply means there isn't enough information to exclude a possibility. Okay. So when he says I cannot rule out a fracture, that does not mean the risk is fracture. It means they don't have enough information to say it isn't. Okay. Ooh, y'all, this is crazy. All right, let's go to this third one. Because the initial autopsy rightfully removed and dissected each organ, there are additional limitations inherent in the second autopsy of Nolan Wells. The most significant of the limitations was the inability to directly observe the airway and lungs for water and directly observe the stomach for gastric contents. In addition, the original toxicology results had not been received at the time of this report. So she didn't even send the toxicology report, y'all. Okay. He was found in his stomach, therefore pooling wouldn't have been in the back of the head. And then I think the guy on Nancy Grace said, well, sometimes during transport, when they put them on their back, that could have been an explanation. Yep. When black men were obviously murdered, she closed the cases as if nothing to see here. Yep. She knew what to do. That's why she didn't prep his body. Exactly. That part. I'm telling you, she knew. She's trying to help cover it up. It's crazy. How would you consider an autopsy done when the brain or skull, she didn't do the posterior part? Yes, wasn't examined. They need to be fired and charged and put into jail. Okay, this is horrible. Now, this paragraph is explaining another major limitation of the second autopsy. Because the first autopsy had already examined and removed the organs, the second pathologist could not independently verify some findings that are often critical when determining a cause of death. So the initial autopsy rightfully removed and dissected each organ. This means that the first medical examiner performed a standard complete autopsy, which involves removing the organs from the body for examination. That is routine practice and not unusual. By the time the second autopsy was performed, those organs had already been examined and were no longer in their original positions. Now, when it says the inability to directly observe the airway and lungs for water, this is significant because one question investigators may have been considering was whether Nolan drowned. Now, when a forensic pathologist evaluates possible drowning, they often look for findings such as water or frothy fluid in the airway. Remember, y'all, she kept the airway. Okay. Water in the lungs or overinflated or heavy lungs. Well, by the time he got his body, then hey, it was so decomposed. She didn't preserve his body well enough. He couldn't determine that. Other changes that can support drowning. Now, since the lungs had already been removed and examined during the first autopsy, the second pathologist could not personally verify those findings. This does not mean there was no water, nor does it mean there was water. It simply means the second examiner couldn't independently assess it, okay? Then where it says and directly observe the stomach for gastric contents, the stomach contents can provide important information, such as what the person ate, approximately when they last ate. That's how they get the time of death, y'all. Whether they swallowed water before death and whether there was vomit or blood. Now, hey, that's important because of that whole pool story. Was there a point where he really was spitting up blood? Okay. Now, in some drowning investigations, the presence or absence of water in the stomach can be one piece of evidence. However, it is not by itself proof of drowning or not drowning. Because the stomach had already been examined during the first autopsy, the second pathologist couldn't make an independent assessment. Okay. Then, when it says the original toxicology reports had not been received, well, this is another limitation. Toxicology testing can detect whether he had alcohol, any prescription medications, illegal drugs, poisons, or other chemicals. So, without those results, the second pathologist could not determine whether intoxication, poisoning, or another substance may have contributed to his death. Mm, mm, mm. Lord have mercy. They knew the second autopsy wouldn't show much without the entire body. Exactly. Exactly. Let's do this. This is crazy, y'all. It's so sad. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Let everyone know we are live. I bet the first medical examiner is probably in a position where she has to do what she is told to do or else. Baby, she needs to find another job. I believe he was strangled or hung. That's why I know thyroid, throat tissue gone, because if it's a drowning, Mississippi will prove it to shift public up with evidence. This is sad. Right. Hey, that one, welcome. When Nolan's body was found, rigor mortis had not set in under 48 hours. Right. Now, she would have more information about that. She's supposed to. Okay. But y'all, I don't know if I trust them like that, especially them knowing his limitations. You see what I'm saying? That's the part that makes me nervous, but we're going to trust God. Now, lastly, in cases where a death has occurred in or around a body of water with suspicion of drowning, it is important to confirm how that person entered the water. This information is especially important for those deaths of persons who can swim, as is the case with Nolan Wells. At the time of this report, this forensic pathologist does not know the condition of Nolan Wells before entering the water. Definitive circumstances of death are required to determine manner of death. For these reasons, this pathologist not rule out if non-accidental factors contributed to or caused the death of Nolan Wells. Okay, what does this all mean? So, this is one of the most cautious and legally significant sections of the preliminary report. The pathologist is not saying that Nolan Wells was the victim of a homicide, nor is the pathologist concluding that he drowned accidentally. Instead, the examiner is explaining why the available evidence at that stage was insufficient to determine exactly how he entered the water and therefore the manner of death. Okay, so the pathologist is saying that determining how someone got into the water is a critical investigation. Now, when he says especially important for those deaths of persons who can swim, this is an important observation. The examiner notes that Nolan was reportedly able to swim. That does not mean a good swimmer cannot drown. Many experienced swimmers do. However, it does mean investigators may ask additional questions, such as why did an experienced swimmer fail to get out of the water? Did something happen before he entered the water? Was he injured or incapacitated? Okay, because like that video we were looking at yesterday, if that's Nolan, that person looked like they could barely move. Okay, were environmental conditions a factor? The pathologist is identifying these as investigative questions, not providing answers. Now, the examiner is saying they do not know whether Nolan entered the water while conscious or while unconscious or voluntarily or accidentally or because someone forced him. Those are circumstances that cannot usually be determined from the body alone. Now, the cause of death usually answers what physically caused the death. So examples could be drowning, gunshot wound, blunt force injuries, okay? The manner of death is how did it happen? Was it natural, accident, suicide, homicide, or undetermined? Now, this pathologist is saying they need reliable, okay, investigative information, not just autopsy findings, to classify the manner of death confidently. Okay, so it does not mean the pathologist believes foul play occurred. But what it means is based on the evidence available at the time of this preliminary report, the pathologist cannot exclude the possibility that something other than an accident contributed to the death. Okay. Oh, y'all, this is crazy. Let's see. Hey, Queen Shailene. Hey, Not About Brittany is in the building. I bet that first medical examiner has a lot of cases that were labeled undetermined. I bet, yeah, they need to go check. He was found in 2 days. They accelerated the decomposition to cover up the murder. Ooh. Someone put him in a sleeper. I don't know, Designs. I don't know if he mentioned that. How long you think the grand jury coming back with a decision? And if they do, who are the suspects? This is all confusing because there are no arrests made. That's what I want to know. Like, they haven't mentioned any suspects, potential suspects. In my opinion, they're still looking for clues. They're still looking for clues. Now, with the following questions still outstanding. So these are some questions that they had. What were the circumstances that led to Nolan Xavier Wells entering the water? What was the body position when found? Was there water? Is there any evidence of injury to interior neck structures? Is there any evidence of intracranial hemorrhage? What was the composition of the stomach contents? And what are the toxicology report findings? The best classification for the cause and manner of death for Nolan Xavier Wells is undetermined pending investigation. So y'all see why this investigation is so important, okay? CC had checked the water temperature was high 80, so that may explain the decomposition, but internet rumors say he was placed in harder to throw off autopsy. Oh, I don't know. Wow. Hi, Inspiration. Welcome to the open book. She said, I'm new here, enjoying this coverage from Nolan Wells. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Closed casket explains something wasn't right with Nolan. Exactly. And that is so sad and unfortunate, y'all. So we've broken down the preliminary. I don't know if we're going to get the first one publicly yet. I don't know when they're scheduled to go to evidence. And so is she going to do that with integrity and really go with some findings? Okay. Or is she going to cover for her people? Right, Brittany. Okay, the medical examiner, police, judge, coach, peers, all of them really need to be investigated now. Right. Let me see if there's any updates on Ben Crump's page, because I'm curious to know, when are they supposed to meet with the grand jury? Let's see here. No, I don't see anything for today. Okay, I don't see anything from him today. Let me look at, see if Christine has something posted. Okay, I know the last post that she made was this was yesterday, July 23rd. And she had just posted, people are focused on everything else but the original question, which is what happened to our son, Nolan Wells. Please start asking that question. Right. And y'all continue to keep them lifted up in prayer, because it has to be tough. It's not an easy process. So I can only imagine, what they're going through right now. Let's see if there are any updates on my Instagram people that I go and look at in the morning, see if they have some new info since we've been on live. Okay, let's see what Kim Brawley is saying. Let me share my screen. Make sure y'all tap that like button. If you would like to support the channel, you're welcome to send a super sticker, super chat, Cash App, or buy coffee. And those links are in the chat.
Lawyer, it's not about who's right and wrong. That's not what it is. That's not the game, baby. The game is about what you can prove. All right. Now, that's why I'm alleging the parties on July 4th, because I know as a lawyer that I have way more pieces of credible evidence than y'all have. Y'all got a fake Rolling Stone story and metadata that can be altered in 2 seconds. Now, when the forensic scientists come and look at everything, they're going to be able to tell us, but I don't have that. I'm going on the data that I have as a trained lawyer. And I have more evidence than you to suggest the party was on the 4th. Now, if you want to prove that that's false, you got to do that in court. You got to come in court and prove I'm wrong now, because I got more evidence than you, and you're going to go do it in court. That's how it works. Even if I'm wrong, you got to prove me wrong now. That's how the law works. It's not about right or wrong. It's about what you can prove. And my evidence is stronger than yours right now. Look, being a lawyer, it's not about who's right and wrong.
Agree with her on that. It's about what you can prove, because they're going to have to prove that the stuff everybody coming up with, that wasn't me. I didn't do that. Oh, okay, well, the evidence is pointing towards you. They need to bring in an independent law enforcement agency to investigate everyone. I agree. You can't just rely on those people there. I would definitely have my own investigative team come in and do the work. Okay, like seriously, that money needs to be put into, some of that money into a real good private investigator. Okay, that's going to be very thorough, has a whole team, because this is what they're going up against, corruption. And they've been doing that for a while. Did we ever find out if that video of a boy face down the beach is real? I know I got in a little late. I believe it's real. However, we're getting some people saying they don't think it's Nolan. But the question then goes to, well, who is it? Because that person looks to be in distress, and you have people taunting him, dancing, and he can't get up. One person said he thought it was a prank, that people were acting out like it was Nolan. Well, the reason I can't go with that theory that it's some kids just playing and doing a prank is what are they using to say was Nolan? Because we don't know really what happened to Nolan. Okay. We don't know. And that boy's in the sand face down, whoever that was. So I can't go with that theory saying kids are just playing a prank, because, what are they saying happened to him? He died in the sand. Like, you see what I'm saying? So that's why I can't go with that theory. But yeah, a lot of people are still saying it's real. Yeah, it's not about what you know, it's what you can prove. Right. Yeah, how long are they going to hold on to his throat? Right. Ben Crump is playing chess because that pool photo could be July 4th. We need forensic experts to give exact date. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, who would be like, I didn't understand that theory.
Let me just tell you. One time there was this guy, this black guy. Okay, I'm not all the details in this story. There's just no way it's fake. All right. The punctuations, I'm looking, I'm like, you know what? Is this an audio that was recorded that someone transcribed? Is that why it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. To me, the way it sounds like maybe somebody heard, like this was a recording that someone put in the AI to like, I don't know. But look, bro, there's all the friends' names. There's the basketball goal. They're describing in detail what's going on. They're describing in detail about, That is not a fake story. As a trained lawyer, there's no way I would believe this is a fake story. There's no fucking way as a trained lawyer. Who would have done this? Why? For what reason? To make Evan go down? Why would they have made this story up? They made this story from a fake account because they were scared. This is a real story. All the details in this story, there's just no way it's fake. Baby, the simple fact that I had no idea that this was a Mossy home. I had no idea about the Mossies. Then I tracked down, that Natalia Mossy was not only a witness in the story, but also front and center in the pool with Lucy right there. Bro, stop it. Stop it. This is extremely credible. Extremely huge piece of evidence. I had no idea who the Mossies were. I had no idea the Mossies owned that place. Okay?
And I don't know if y'all know, but with all the clues and them putting pieces together from this story, she found out that that house belonged to a Mossy family. And one of the girls' names, one of their daughters' name is in this story here that's been going around about the whole pool party incident. So these are real people and people with big time money. Their kids are in the story. That's why I want people to understand the magnitude of what this is about. I think they own car dealerships or something. I got to do more research on them. But yes, so that was real. And she, went through a process to find out whose house that was.
I had no idea Natalia Mossy was going to be. Stop it. This fucking story is true. Natalia and Lucy are right there front and center, and Natalia Mossy is the fucking homeowner's kid. Stop it. This is true. Baby, the simple fact that I had no idea. What we have to do now is prove those 4 suspects, which were Andrew, Wyatt, Warren, and Evan. We have to prove they're around Nolan in the pool. Now, we already got goofball heads saying, I had my arm around him. So that is a confirmation.
Yep.
Direct confirmation.
For those that didn't hear in Warren's interview, he stated he was the one that has his arm around Nolan in this pool. So that also confirms that is Nolan in the pool, for those of you who had questions about that. Okay. The highest points that open. This is why I told you someone is going to have to come forth and tell the truth. If not, they will get away with murder. Okay. It's seriously, I agree. I definitely agree.
That's Warren. Now find Evan in the pool. Find Andrew. Now we found one little goofy Andrew. Does that little Andrew look like he's going to be able to beat? No. Is this guy named Andrew? Is that Andrew Whitley? He looks like he could beat somebody up. Okay. Find the rest of those people.
And this guy back here is an adult too. What are these adult men doing in the pool with these young ladies? Okay. And these young teenage boys. He's an adult. Okay. I'm telling you, it was multiple adults involved. And I was listening to this one lady. I don't know if y'all follow her on YouTube. Her name is Mara. And she does different readings and so forth. But I just came across it yesterday as I was scrolling and just listening, I always explain it, but I don't, deal in nothing like that or whatever. But one thing she said is people are going to be surprised about how many adults are involved in this cover up. And they're trying to protect their kids because their kids have bright futures and want to go to college like that. So they're trying to protect their children. Adults involved covering this up that many people will probably think. I can see that already. Speaking of car dealerships, didn't someone say that Nolan's dad worked for a dealership or sold nice cars? It may or may not be true, but I thought I heard someone say that. Oh, I don't know. I never knew what he did. I believe the pool party story too. Yeah. If there's not a conviction, no one gets a reward. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
In the story and locate them where they are in relation to Nolan in the pool. We already got goofball head ass. How are you a judge? See, that's why you the judge's stepkid. because you don't really have the fuck. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You could have probably gone to medical school and been a very fucking mediocre doctor if you're not going to go to jail. What we have to do now is prove those 4 suspects, which were If I'm Warren, I'm playing it like Fulton. Oh yeah, you think that's me? Prove it's me. Cause if Fulton tells me that ain't him, I gotta prove it's him. How the fuck I'm gonna do that? How I'm gonna prove it? That's way harder. If Warren.
So it was another guy. People were saying it was him in the pool. He inboxed her and said, "That's not me." And said he turned on his camera and everything, to prove it. So she's saying Warren up here admitting stuff. He should have been like the other guy and said, I wasn't there. But we really can't see his face, to be honest, if he wanted to not say something. But he admitted on this interview that that's him with his arm around Nolan. So if something comes out that this whole pool party story is true, you're in trouble, because you just admitted to being there in the pool. Like, seriously, he didn't think that through. They've done the most to try to disprove this picture from July 4th. Exactly. They removed all the evidence that could determine time of death and cause of death. That in itself speaks volumes. Exactly. Warren said in the interview that the pool party was on June 27th. Right. Yeah. He did say that.
Warren would have said I wasn't in the pool. Oh, we'd be fucked. But Warren didn't say that. Warren said, I got my arm around him. So
okay, it is what it is.
You can't get out of that one, boo-boo. That's your words. That's your words. Ma, how long we been thinking? I'm Warren. The best part about the interview with Warren is that it was probably filmed several weeks ago before we even cracked all this shit. So
I think he filmed that during the when he went to the funeral, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong.
So I never went and even looked at. I'm gonna go look at it today. I'm gonna catch him immortalized. But that's the thing. When he filmed that, he didn't even know how far we had already gotten on this.
Yeah, because we had gotten farther. That's true.
So baby, if he would have known what we had gotten, he would have never said that. He filmed that a couple of weeks ago, and it's just being released now. So Warren doesn't even know how far we've caught up to his ass. The best part
could have been worse.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That's true. That's a good point. All right, let's see. Hey, Karen. Didn't early on someone say that the girl Katie dad was there? And if so, how did he feel about his daughter talking to a black man? Just a question. That's a good point. We already know adults are involved with the cover-up, starting with the parents, police, examiner. This cover-up goes all the way to the top. Come on now. Warren did say live with your family for, yeah, you know what? Was it Warren's family or Wyatt's family that they were saying that, well, I don't know why they're thinking we did it when Nolan stayed here for 3 years with us. I'm like, huh? I can't remember which one of them said it. Oh, thank you, Kayla. Oh, that's the dealership? Whoa, okay. Javon, the young man that spoke on TMZ, is scared, I believe. Yeah, I could see that. But I'm going to say this. Being that he's already been out here talking, which is not a good thing. Yesterday, when that interview was released and they put his name out there, that looks a certain type of way. And it shows that if anything goes down, he's going down with them. Okay. I hope they're prepared for that. And they need to, if they don't have lawyers, they better get some lawyers, y'all, because I sense they're not going to go down by themselves. It's so many people that had probably knowledge, of what happened to Nolan. I do believe, in my opinion, that they were recording. Even if this recording that we were looking at yesterday is not real, I do believe that whatever transpired, they were recording it. And that was probably sent out to some people. People are probably afraid to come out, knowing how deep this is. They didn't know how much coverage it would get. By now, they probably thought we would have shut up. After the funeral, they thought, they'll move on. Everybody gonna be quiet. We can go on with our lives, No, We still talking about it. We still exposing things. Okay. Who is this? Let's Get Better. Oh, you got another one. Well, Let's Get Better. Guess what? You got to be in here long enough because I don't think I've laughed the maybe entire live, almost 2 hours. If you could tell me what I was laughing at, I may consider just letting you stay in the chat. Because when you come in with comments like that, it makes me think you're a troll. Okay, now you can say I'm laughing again at you. Okay, so like, don't come in here talking about the laughter part. You can't tell me what I was laughing at. Okay, when we were going through the autopsy report, were you in here? Did you hear me laughing during the autopsy report? Did you hear me laughing when we were playing videos about the DA up there lying? So please miss us with that. Okay, Let's Get Better. That's your name. Let's Get Better. Hide out in the bushes and then pay attention to the live and then see when the laughter comes and when it's not. Okay. So Warren is the oldest of 2 brothers. Are there any more brothers? Now that it is what it is, I don't know. I don't know. Katie is a distraction. Is bigger than her. Don't drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, I'm going to say, let's see, in my opinion on that, I feel that Katie also knows more too. I wouldn't put it just on her, but that Katie knows something, just like I believe Javon and Jalen know something. I'm not taking her off the list for that reason. Her name is coming up a lot. Wyatt's name definitely coming up a lot. They really need to look into Wyatt. And for the simple fact that Warren is trying to cover for Wyatt speaks volumes. Okay, he's even thrown out Bart's name. We ain't even heard of a Bart. Okay, we ain't even heard of a Bart. So that's when, like, I'm not, yeah, I know she's not, probably didn't do anything to him. Just like I don't think that Javon did anything to him or Jalen. However, some of their movements and some of the things stated, even this Trayston guy. And last night, I was telling them, I need to see Trayston and Tracy in the same room together. Y'all know, like, how we had Clark Kent and Superman. Okay, you never really saw them in the same room together. I need to see Trayston Shepard and Trace Carter in the same room together, so I can rule out that they're not the same person. Something is given that that's the same person. And the picture that was shown on the news, I think Good Morning America, I don't think that that's the real, this Trace Carter. I think it's Trayston, and maybe he gave the wrong name. I don't know. But for some, I can't shake that part. They're not the same person. I just need to see them both in the same room because I think they're the same person. Because think about it, Trace Carter and Javon were the 2 there when they found Nolan's body, right? Warren said last night that Trayston had texted a friend of his and told the friend that they found Nolan's body. So how did Trayston, who does he know? And where was he on the picture at the scene of the hole when they were found his body, that scene, the crime scene? Okay, where was he? Because we only saw Trace Carter and Javon in the picture. So I'm thinking Trace Carter and Trayston Shepard are the same people, but he probably didn't want to give either his real name on Good Morning America. He was the one that was dancing up a storm at the repast. Okay, they had to probably sit him down. He in all the videos, just dancing. I hope you be crying and was falling out at the funeral like that. Okay. I wonder if Katie dated one of the guys. I don't know. That's a good thing. Yeah, hide in the bushes first for a little bit. See how we do stuff over here, child. Yeah, I'm believing Katie knows more. We know at least one of Warren's brothers, Morgan Seymour. Okay. I think Katie is a key player, especially if it's being claimed that she is or is one of the last people to see him. Yeah, she stand on the list. Wait, in that video, the real guy stumping on Nolan is seen in the photo right next to Nolan between Wyatt and the dude that was watching. He's the one sitting second to the left in the cab. Second to the left? That didn't look like him to me. I think someone said that yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, part 4 gonna have some more characters. Yeah, we gotta put Morgan on the list. That name came up in the story too. Because Nolan's granddad said something about AI. He did. He didn't even believe it. So I'm telling y'all, I need to see them in the same room. I need them to prove to me that y'all are not the same person. This gonna answer some questions. If I find out those the same people, right, exactly. Sis, I agree. Katie knows something. However, I don't believe she is the reason. Yes, I don't believe that either. Katie Hudson Seymour is Warren's biological mother. Oh, so that's the second Katie y'all talking about. Okay. Yeah, exactly. In cases like these, child, because I know yesterday, I think we were laughing about something at the end too. Yesterday was so emotional, that morning live. Like, y'all, when I got off, I was like, I have to get myself together because that's a lot that weighs on your spirit, when you see something traumatic like that, so sometimes we got to make some stuff light. And like Nola's mom has even said that's why they didn't want to have just a typical repast, because that's not his personality. For one, it wasn't his personality. He looked like towards making people laugh, and things like that. And so my personality is, I'm an encourager. I like motivating. I like to, make people feel better. That's a natural gift that I have if you're in my presence, whether it's on here or in person. I'm not to the point where I'm goofy. You see what I'm saying? It's the difference between, when to make light of some stuff, when to try to lighten up the atmosphere, and when people are just being goofy. So when I see comments like that, I know that those are trolls. I already know. So, because people that have been following me and know me we know how to operate over here. Let's see here. It was another video that I saw last night. Sometimes, y'all, when I get off, I'm like, dang, I forgot to show them this. If it was still here, but I don't know if it's still going to be here. Yeah, I don't even see it no more. I should have screenshotted it last night. They probably took it down. Yep. Okay. If I see it, I'll share it at another time. But it was a quick video, but it did show Nolan walking by. Somebody was arguing, and he walked by quickly. I don't know when it was. It wasn't on the beach because there was cars in the background, but they were laughing, and he didn't look too happy. So I don't know what happened. But I saw it was a little short video on Facebook last night, but I don't see it now. They might have taken it down. Nobody letting this case go, this series. Yeah, Lucas' character, I think that's a fake character too. That's somebody they don't put as a plant probably. Okay. Yeah. Oh, when Nancy Grace is on it. Yes. Greetings. OG Patrice is in the building. Welcome. She said, my spirit has been heavy ever since I seen the video of Nolan in the sand and the group surrounding him. Looks like Javon in the picture with the earrings, allegedly. You know what, Karen? Karen says she's going to make sure she put the allegedly, but some people, I know another content creator, she had some very good points last night. I was listening in to her live, but she said on TikTok, there were some people that were saying that Javon, and I think they have some little groups and stuff. Now, I don't know about these groups. I'm trying to find them where they, get more in depth into some things, but saying that Javon allegedly was at that event, whatever was going on. Also, what's coming out that I've heard is allegedly there was like a fight club type of thing, and they caught Nolan off guard. He didn't know about these things being set up. So I don't know if someone just caught him off guard and didn't like him, and they decided that, you know, we're gonna take his phone. He didn't have any friends around him that would help him defend himself, and then just did what they did. So I don't know how true. Two. Okay, so Lucas Aviz was a college classmate of Nolan, Southwest Mississippi College. He was not on Nolan's boat. He was with his family. Oh, okay. Okay. Shout out to that one. Thank you so much for the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's live. She said justice for Nolan Wells. Thank you so much. His phone was used to get him on the boat. Nolan became suspicious because of what Trace said before they separated. Okay. I'm just saying, just like you can't tell someone how to grieve, you can't tell someone how to protect their peace. That's true. That's true. Eyes wide shut. I'm not on any social media sites except YouTube. So I'm glad to be here to get the facts, not lies, right. Inspiration. I'm telling you, it's some of the stuff, you know, is clickbait, like the pictures that they're using. You know, it's not Nolan. But when I tell y'all, yesterday was when I was on live and I opened up my Facebook and I saw that video, it immediately resonated with my spirit that, oh my gosh, like I felt it was real even before I finished looking at it. I said, this is him. Like I felt that thing. So the more I looked at it, the more things that stood out. And then they said in the bottom corner of the video, y'all, that they are holding, it looks like they're holding someone's head to watch what they were doing. And I had to keep looking and I'm like, wait, remember when I asked y'all yesterday what was that black in the bottom corner of the video? Yes, that's the part where they were holding someone's head. Allegedly. Let's say allegedly. Let me see if I can show y'all. And I'm going to say trigger warning for anyone that hasn't seen it. Okay, so when it gets to the part, I'm going to show y'all again when it comes back around. Okay, so see down here, right here, like somebody's head, they're forcing him to watch. Right here. Who is that? And it looked like they had a knife also. See right here? Who is that? Down there at the bottom. And I don't know the brown stuff that he was pushing out of the way, what this brown stuff is. I know the still shot of it, y'all. This guy here, you could see the side of his face. And then it was a coach, or I ain't gonna say coach, but it was a man standing in one of the shots. I don't know who this guy is. He's recording as well. So those are things to consider. Yeah, but I was like, this is the person right here they're talking about. It looks like someone's head is being held to watch right there, the bottom. So I don't know. It was a lot going on. Whoever this is, you know, I can't say if this is Nolan for sure, because that hasn't been, I don't think, confirmed by his parents or anyone. But if it's not him, it's definitely someone that looks to be in distress, and they're mocking him and kicking him and so forth. So yeah, it's so unfortunate. One of the guys in the background looks to have a pole. Oh, really? See, some stuff I don't even notice. Y'all didn't notice some stuff. It looks like side. Okay. I don't think that was Nolan, but that's still someone's child. Right, Kayla? They saying it's Javon with the black do-rag. Really? Let me see. A black do-rag. But his hair not like that. I don't think that's a do-rag. some other, you know what? Some other angles, people have some other angles of that. And it would show who's on that side. You see what I'm saying? Someone from a different angle showed it. You would definitely see it from the other side. I couldn't see a poll though. Let's see here. Is that curly hair or Carly hair? I firmly believe it's Nolan. Me too, the real Nikki. Holding the head of a person with the same type of low afro as Nolan appears to be another black child. That's what I was thinking, because it would have had to have been some black. It's very upsetting. Oh, it could be seaweed. Okay, Tracy. Thank you. The image is so obscured by the person moving around the camera. I'm not sure if that is Nolan. Got you. Yeah. But it's so sad. Hey, Tranisa. So sad. So we're going to keep praying for his family, y'all, and that justice is served for Nolan Wells. We're not giving up, you know. Hey, Patrice, good afternoon. Is it afternoon? What's morning here? Good morning. But I think that's all that I have for today. I want to give a special shout out to the mods in the building. Also, special shout out to T Lady, Sharon, Dreamy Girl, and That One for being sponsors of today's live. Thank you, ladies, so much. If y'all did not get a chance to watch yesterday's lives, we did a live yesterday morning. We went over some things with the medical examiner. And then yesterday evening, we tapped into a few things. I forgot what all. I know part 3 of Warren's interview. It was some other things we talked about. I done forgot that fast. But yes, check out the replays for those two. Okay. The shorts and build of the body in the back, the shorts may look like it's gray, but navy blue shorts can be gray at night. Yes. I don't think it's him, and I pray it's not Nolan, right? Don't Jay Bun say something like they didn't have to do that to Nolan? That's what I'm hearing. Was it Jay Bun or Trayston? I'm gonna go back. That's what I want to do today. Go back and listen. Now that, you know, sometimes when we have more info, when we go back and listen to previous interviews, certain things stand out. So I want to go back and listen to Javon's interviews and Trayston's and see if something stands out after Warren has done after he's done his little interview. Let's see who's lying. Okay. And see if we can piece together some things. That's all very, very disturbing, and it makes my stomach weak. It's like wild animals surrounding prey. The children are carbon copies of their parents. Exactly. Yes. Someone did say that they didn't want him to die like that. We like, what? What if it was Javon and his brother there? Girl, a Mama Magazine. If we find that out, now you know it's going to be some mess. Okay? They already know it's up. I'm telling you, they are going to make them take the fall for it all, though, if it comes out that they were there. And that would break Christine and her family's hearts if that were true. That may have been Trayston. I'm gonna go listen to his interview. When did he say that? Was it on the Good Morning America interview where he said that? And the parents, they didn't even know him. Let's see. Let me share this right quick.
on the 4th of July, but declined to speak on camera because of the threats that he says he's been receiving.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
All right, Kajach.
All right, pause. Now, let's look at this. Okay, I'm glad someone told me to go back. Now, notice a Mama Magazine. He says, we all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Uh-oh. What do you mean? Can we call Trayston Shepard? Now that we got this video, can we call Trayston Shepard or Trace Carter? Because I want to know if y'all the same person. To the front of the class right quick. What do you mean? Do you mean literally? I'm just asking a question for a friend. Are you trying to say literally you didn't want to see him die? Or figuratively, y'all didn't want to just see him go, like die in that sense. Okay, so we just got questions. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short. Who took his life, Trayston? Who's responsible for Nolan's death? Shout out to Patrice. You're all for doing that. And also, I appreciate those comments too, because you're right. We're all in this, really, really seeing some things, okay, and putting our minds together in helping to solve this. Shout out to Patrice for the super sticker and for you being a sponsor for today's live. Yes, see, he told you his life was taken so short. Hey, Shelly. Hey, sis. So what does that mean, Trayston? What does this mean? Are you saying figuratively? Okay. Taken. You use those words, that looks like a homicide, Trayston, because you're not saying that, oh, this was accidental, Trayston. It looks as though, and I'm using my interpretation of what you stated, that you are allegedly saying that Nolan's life was taken. Who is responsible for Nolan Wells' life being taken, Trayston? If you have that information, you need to report immediately to the proper authorities there in Mississippi and Ben Crump's legal team, Trayston. If you have any information whatsoever for you to say nobody wanted to see Nolan's life be taken so short, you're saying that this was not an accident. Okay, come on. He's already admitting it. How do you know that, Trayston? Who are you protecting? What all do you know? You need to turn over that information. Don't you want to see Nolan get justice? You want his family to get this info? Because you said this on a national platform. Okay, they're all over. And now we've clocked this statement right here. Okay, but no one was supposed to see him, period, if Nolan was left on the island. Exactly. Come on now. The detectives are in the building. I follow an attorney trained in statement analysis here on YouTube, and he frequently says we always speak using everything we know. Wow. He knows something. Yeah, he saw something. Bro J said this indicates this was an intentional killing. Nolan had gotten into a college to play college football. Any young man that loves football down there also wants to go to college football. Yeah, come to the front of the class, Trayston, so we can hear you loud and clear. You said this on the national platform. So who is responsible for taking Nolan's life so short? He has so many opportunities. If you have any information, you need to go quickly to the proper authorities. And y'all, peep that they said he did not want his picture, his video to show. He didn't want to come on video. Why? Because he was getting threats. Now, Trayston, why would you be getting threats? Okay, if this was an accident, why are they threatening you? What do you have to do with any of this, Trayston? And I mean, are you putting yourself there in the place to know something, Trayston? It seems like only people that would know something would get threatened. You hadn't even spoken out yet, and you were already getting threats. Why is that? Why is that? Now, I can see if you had came on here and then you're like, man, after I did that interview, I'm starting to get threats. I don't know why. I'm just on here talking about my friend, trying to, share some information. But Trayston, why were you getting threats? And you hadn't even been out here talking. Were they threatening you because they knew what happened? That you are a witness to what happened? You know who's involved. So they're threatening that if you say something, we're going to do something to you too, which is now why you don't want to come on video. Okay. As always, Obi, excellent job of sharing information. You know you're the place to be. Laughter is medicine for the soul, and maybe she should visit for the many tears we cry for Nolan and many more. Right, Stephanie, you must be behind in the chat in the video. Right, sis, I agree. Okay, they would want to have an opportunity like Nolan. Wherever there's envy and jealousy, there's every evil work. Yeah, I mean, that's not making sense. He's being threatened, right, Monica, because he knows something. Okay, speaking past statements like that is very telling. Hit dogs hollering all over. Come on now, all over Jackson County. Yeah, nobody knew him. The public not going to threaten you because we didn't know who you were. So it means that that's an inside community thing there. That's only if you were getting threats. Okay, if that part is true. Well, the only reason someone would want to threaten you is if you know what happened or you were there. If they ain't threatening the other people at the college, okay, or the schools that weren't there, that no one's came out and said that. But why you? So why are you on here doing an interview if you have been threatened? I wouldn't even want to come out. If I know I'm being threatened, I wouldn't have even said anything. I'm not going to put my real name out there as well, which still makes me go back to, is this Trace Carter? I need to make sure y'all are in the same room together. Okay? I need to make sure y'all are in the same room because I just need to get that out of my mind that y'all are the same person. And until I see it for myself, do a picture together or something. Okay? Because I'm still not believing that these are two different people. I think you were there. And you're Trace Carter too. That's me. And there was some stuff going on. Right. We need to start making some citizens arrests. Okay? Like really.
So short.
All right, Kajachi, and also legal analyst and attorney Brian Buckmeyer join me now for more. So, Ike, what more are we learning about why Wells stayed behind and didn't go back to the mainland with his friends?
Let me see. Is because he said more. Okay. I think this is this.
Step into modern living at Eagles Point in Fort Worth, Texas.
New developments tonight in the mysterious death of 18-year-old Nolan Wells.
Saying he and the others who were on the boat have been receiving threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepherd also addressed this viral video that has fueled speculation online. Nolan's parents believed it showed their son involved in a confrontation. But Shepherd says it wasn't Nolan, it was him.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepherd says he returned to the mainland later that afternoon while Wells stayed behind on Horn Island with a girl he had met that day.
They met that day, and it was kind of one of those things. It did come off that day that he really did like her, but that was the only time they'd ever hung out was at Horn Island on July 4th.
And I still want to know, Trayston, how come you didn't say you knew Katie? Even during this interview, you said that was the first time him and Nolan and Katie hung out, but you and Javon are friends with Katie on Facebook. Okay. I'm still that connection right there. I'm still trying to understand that. And yes, some people do just befriend folks, whatever. But I found that a huge coincidence that y'all are just making it look like Nolan met a random young lady there at Horns Island, but you and Javon are friends with her on Facebook. Can you explain that connection? Did y'all tell Nolan about the girl? Because we got some questions about that. Because you just making it, yeah, he met her. And it was just so simple. Yeah, it was just a little, they met up. Then you got Warren saying, yeah, he met this girl, Katie, and they were over there cradling together. But Katie knows people you connected to, Warren, as well. So is all these people connected? No, nothing when it comes to where Nolan was last seen and how this happened. That's a lot of connections. It's weird. Horn Island will be the perfect plan to take Nolan out because too many people would pass it off as young adults just partying. It's all right. We used to this. That's true. What's that line in the Constitution about reestablished governments that have, what did you say? I think it was a typo. Oh, gone off track. Okay, got you. Yeah. In all the commotion, some would not even notice because they were drinking, but someone was somber enough to kill Nolan, and others stood by and watched Nolan get killed. Wow. Exactly. How he know that though? Okay. Why would his friends kill him? Hey, Buttercup. Javon's mom said she's the one that told Javon that Nan was missing when Christine called her to ask if he saw Javon. Yeah, that's the thing. But according to Warren, look, they're going to have to clear that up. He's saying he contacted Javon and asked him where was Nolan. Okay, so he knew allegedly before Christine. Didn't they say when Tristan and his girlfriend were into it, it took a few of them to get him off the island? I could see that being Trace as big as he is, but not Tristan. Yes. And the guy we listened to, the breezy guy, remember he said it was Trace Carter. In that video we watched, was it this past weekend? And he was, talking about the case. He said that was Trace Carter. And I say, Trace Carter? I thought that was Tristan Shepard. And so now that's what was also making me think, are these the same people? It was a lot of fights. I can't keep up. We keeping up with boats, people, fights. This is a lot. Okay, who friends? They were not his friends. Nolan was surrounded by wolves. Sheep's clothing, right. Horn Island is a federal property, so probably why the FBI is involved. Yes. He stayed behind. If that happened was because he was already gone or close to it. I think they covered him in the boat. Panic sent out SOS. Panic took back SOS and called Judge Mommy. Possibly. He does sound like the ringleader. No, I'm going to be honest though. I don't think he's the ringleader. I think Wyatt and Andrew are the ringleaders. I think they're the big bad guys. I got to look for Wyatt again, his picture. I think Warren is covering for Wyatt. Yes, on a lot of stuff. Now, that does not make Warren innocent, okay, in some stuff, in my opinion. But I think he's covering for Wyatt more so. Yeah, they will say the wrong thing if you let them keep talking.
Investigators believe Wells drowned and say they found no immediate signs of foul play, but his parents continue to question.
Okay, I think that was all of his. Okay. Wow. And like some people were saying, it may have been something that was a fight that got out of control, and it unfortunately injured him to the point where, he died from it, and they tried to cover it up. Yes, she did, Caramel Shell. She really did. Yeah, I want to know where are those results too. Yeah, right, Ian. They put Warren in the forefront because he's a good speaker. Warren sounds like he hasn't finished going through puberty. Okay, yeah, child, this a lot. So now we definitely got Tracy on here because he knows some valuable information. Oh, wow. That's so sad. All right, y'all. So make sure y'all hit that like button. Also, don't forget to hype up the video. I appreciate everyone for joining today. If you are not a subscriber, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Thank you all so much for joining. I hope everyone has a fantastic Friday and weekend. If I don't hear from you all this weekend or see you all in the chat this weekend, have a great weekend. And until next time, be blessed. Bye-bye.
You just flip through truth with the open book. If you felt that heat, like share and stay locked in. Another chapter done, but we far from finished. Truth on the mic, yeah, we handle business. Real talk, no fluff, just facts and fire. From the book to the block, we taking it higher. The open book, every voice matters, every lie shatters. Catch you next page.